think we are live on Facebook. If anybody is watching on Facebook, hopefully they can give me a thumbs up. This is my first time live and on Facebook. Alright. What up, Facebook? I hope that you can hear me. I'm doing the best that I can to get this thing working. I have not done a Facebook live stream before. This is the first one. I'm trying to turn it on while I'm on the Instagram, so I'm gonna do the best that I can. If anybody on Facebook can hear me, send me a thumbs up in the comments if you can hear me on Facebook. Send me a thumbs up in the comments if you can hear me on Facebook. Can you hear me, Facebook? All right, that's what's up. All right, I'm about to go live on the gram as well. We're doing the double stream today, Corn Pops. This is gonna be an interesting talk. I am about to do a presentation called How to Find Your Passion. So let me just turn on the gram and let's get it popping. All right, let's go. What up, Facebook? What's going on, Facebook people? How you doing? Welcome, thanks for being here. This is gonna be an interesting time. I'm excited to do this little presentation here today, so thank you for being here. I very much appreciate it. What's up, everybody on Facebook? What's good? Yo, what's up, Instagram? I'm on Instagram and Facebook right now. Excellent. Everybody can hear me. Can you send me a thumbs up again on Facebook? Everybody can hear me good? All right. Perfect. Awesome. I got a mic going for the Facebook stream, and I got the Instagram stream going. What up, Tinkerbell? How you doing? What's up, Willie? What's going on? Yo, what's good? All right, we got Instagram going, we got Facebook going, we got Instagram over here, we got Facebook over here. Everybody, thank you for being a part of this presentation today. I'm excited to do this little talk, this little exchange of information. I'm excited to share this with you. I do think that this was the most requested topic on yesterday's poll about what I should make a live stream about. So I decided to come on and talk about how to find your passion in business, in career. That is the game. So anybody that's here exclusively for jokes, I hate to disappoint you, but the primary purpose of this talk is to talk about how to find your passion in business, how to have the career that you love, how to pick the right career, how to lean into your strengths, how to choose a fulfilling career, and how to ultimately live a great life around that career. That is the objective of today's presentation. That's what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to try to keep it to maybe an hour and a half. So thank you for bearing with me, and let's get right into it. So let me just start by prefacing this discussion with a couple of things. First of all, if you don't already follow me on Facebook, please go follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Bobby Sausalito. If you don't follow me on YouTube, please follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/Bobby Sausalito. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow @takenaps on Instagram. That's number one. Number two, join the Facebook group. We have a Facebook group called We Take Naps. Go to facebook.com/groups/We Take Naps and join the Facebook group as well to kind of chat and jam with other people, like-minded individuals. So, let me preface this talk, this exchange of information, whatever, by saying that these are just my beliefs. This is just my opinion on the matter. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a career coach. I'm just a person that seems to be asked this question quite often. This is the most asked question or most requested live stream in the polls that I took over the weekend, and in previous and I've received previous DMs about this topic. So I'm going to do the best that I can to explain my knowledge on the subject, and hopefully it gives you guys something beneficial that can help you, that you'll really enjoy. So again, these are just my opinions. Now, just the quick 10-second or the quick 30-second review on me. I started building websites when I was about 18 years old. I was able to within about 3 years make it into a full-time career. I made pretty much nothing the first couple of years I started building websites, but I have not had a employer. I have not been employed in 13 years now. My business has been successful for the past 13 years. I work from home. I do whatever I want, whenever I want. I wake up whenever I want, and I've been able to maintain my own career by just being an entrepreneur and following these types of principles, by following the things that I love. I haven't had a boss since I was 21 years old, and that is my story. So the thing that I think makes the most difference as it relates to finding your passion and finding your ultimate goal in life is the most important thing of all things is to just never give up on it. So let's just start with that. You just can't give up. So as long as we understand that preface, there is no giving up. Let's kind of get into it. So I want to first start with an article that I wrote about 10 years ago. I wrote this article in 2010. I had been self-employed for about 2 years full-time at this point. I was not making that much money. My business was probably generating, I don't even know, maybe like 15 to 20 something thousand dollars a year, maybe $25,000 a year, but I just kept at it, didn't quit. And like I said, I've been self-employed now for over 13 years. So I'm going to read you a little bit. I'm going to read you some excerpts from this article that I wrote because I think that it'll help kind of preface the discussion. It's all about every single thing, all things always begin at mindset. It's mindset first. That's the game. So let's start there. Thank you so much, Debbie, for the Venmo. I appreciate that so much. Oh, she requested $20. She didn't pay $20. Okay, well then never mind. Sorry, Debbie. I don't know why you want me to pay you, but anyways. All right, so let's start here. So this is 14 lessons on staying focused. This is what I want to start with. So we've heard it before, the familiar phrases: struggling artist, struggling new business owner, unnoticed blogger, battling against the odds. Someone mentions an unfamiliar path and immediately the peanut gallery is quick to submit an opinion on why this is not a good idea. Clearly there are much safer choices. Society tends to deter the inspired from following the career path of an artist, an actor, a writer, a creator, or somebody who lives their life in an unfamiliar way by alluding to a life without money, a continuous or never-ending struggle, a 1 in a million chance of success, or suggesting that we face this apparent reality and we're not special enough. Those people are lucky. I couldn't possibly work hard, and then it eventually gets you to start believing some pretty crazy things. I couldn't possibly work hard for something until it succeeds. Nobody ages, positions of power never shift, and there isn't a soul out there that might agree with me. The market is too saturated, there isn't room for me in that industry, those guys are much better than I am, and a range of discouraging notions cycle in your head until you've convinced yourself that they were right. Everything that you've thought, everything that you've believed in up until this point, everything that you've worked for to attain your dreams was a false reality that you apparently created for yourself, and that all of this work that you're doing was for nothing. So it's time to give up. It's time to throw in the towel. You can't get it done. You can't figure out how you want to spend every day of your life. Well, you better figure it out. There's always just enough money out there to convince you that it isn't worth a shot. So 14 lessons to start with. Number 1, what you hear becomes what you believe. The more that you tell something to other people, the more you hear yourself say it, the more you will believe it. Be truthful and honest to yourself and to others, and it will pay off in the long run. Stop saying why it won't work and focus on it why it will. Number 2, don't try to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion. People can appreciate that you're not perfect. Make your greatest effort at what's important, deliver, and move forward. Obsessing over details slows your progress. Questioning yourself will leave all of your projects 75% completed. Today's headlines are tomorrow's history, so learn from it and keep moving. Lesson number 3 is that ideas are ideas. Until you've taken the first step, an idea floats around as a temporary projection of something desired. Though simple, writing things down is more substantial than saying, that's a good idea, I should do that. Lesson number 4 is that you need to believe it. If you don't believe in what you do, what you're selling, or what you're talking about, then what are we talking about? Lesson number 5 is to work smart. Tackle what's most important first, one step at a time. If you're starting to panic, walk away, go outside, relax, and come back later. This step is not negotiable. Panic causes quick, rash decisions and completely stops your creativity. Lesson number 6, react appropriately. How you feel determines how you'll feel. Don't get caught up in the moment and make hasty decisions. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Lesson number 7, there will always be haters. Lesson number 8, to take risks. Number 9, to trust yourself. Lesson number 10, to enjoy it. Lesson number 11, there is always a time for everything. And lesson number 12, never give up, always keep trying. Lesson number 13, passion will drive you to keep trying. And lesson number 14, pursue happiness. Okay. So, I think that, so what exactly does following your passion even mean? What does that mean? What it means to me is that anybody can be successful at doing absolutely anything. You can be successful, especially in today's internet age where you have this device in your pocket that you can communicate with people all over the entire planet at a moment's notice. Everybody can be successful at all things. You could be the most successful gingerbread house maker. You could record videos and put them on YouTube and make $2 million a year making gingerbread houses. There's more access to the entrepreneurial world now more than any other time in human history. So you just need to understand first and foremost that you can make a whole lot of money doing absolutely anything. This is a complete and obvious truth. There's a kid on YouTube that makes something like, I want to say like $10 million a year opening toys and playing with them. So the first thing to remember, aside from never giving up, is that anybody can make money at absolutely anything. The second thing is like, okay, you're unsatisfied with your job and you want to find a job that's going to make you feel passionate. Well, here's the crucial element about being passionate about something. The career for you, the best career for you, what you are the absolute most suited for is probably something that you're already doing. So it's something that you care about, that you do on the side, that you would do no matter what aside from money anyhow. So it could be maybe you really like to read, maybe you really like to write, you really like to sing, you really like to help people, whatever it is. Identifying what is the thing that you would do without money anyways, the thing that you would do no matter what. And it could be anything. And don't think like, well, I can't monetize that. Think about what you would do anyways. If you really love designing cakes for friends' birthday parties, or you really like picking out gifts for people, or you really like washing your car, or you really like detailing your car, or you really like doing any variety of things that makes you feel happy or makes you feel fulfilled, there's a career there. You just have to figure out how to properly monetize that thing that you want to do, that thing that you always wanted to do, that thing that you would do anyways. A huge roadblock that gets in between people pursuing their passion and not pursuing it is they don't believe that the ability to monetize what it is that they like to do exists. So the first thing is understanding that absolutely all things can be monetized. It doesn't matter what it is, and it doesn't matter if you can't see it right now. First, you have to identify what is it that I would do aside from money, no matter what, anyways. The second thing is what are you already inherently good at? What are you stronger at than the next bunch of people? What are you better at doing than the next variety of people? How do you build something around your strengths and not your weaknesses? What are you better at? Where is your advantage? Another thing that's really, really helpful, and this made all the difference for me, was realizing that the easiest way to identify what I want to do in life is to identify what I don't want to do in life. Think about what you don't want to do. For me, it was like, I don't want to work outside. I don't want to have to go outside to make money. I don't want to use my body because my body is going to deteriorate. My ability to lift things up and put things down is going to deteriorate over time. How do I create a career that's everlasting? This is just my strategy. It doesn't have to be yours. I'm just saying these are the principles that I use to try to find what my passion was. So it's like, I don't want to work outside. I don't want to be sweating. If it's a hot day or it's raining or it's snowing, I don't want to have to go outside to make money. I want something that's not going to use my body. If I'm not using my body, then I have to use my mind. Okay, so it's a thought job and it's inside. Okay. I like wearing nice clothes. I don't want my clothes to be dirty. Now, I'm not going to be a chef. I'm not going to be a laborer inside. I'm not going to do anything that's going to need me to take a shower during the day. For some people don't care about that. That was something that I chose. So again, it's like, what do I not want to do? What do I not want my life to look like? The next thing is like one that I think people often overlook, which is like life design. It's like, what do you want your life to look like? Do you want to work on the weekends? Do you want to work at night? Do you want to work in the morning? Do you want to work during the day? What do you want to do with your time? How do you want to spend your days? So it's like, if you want to work in nightlife, for example, it's like, well, I really don't want to work Friday and Saturday night. I want those days to myself. Well, then you shouldn't work in nightlife. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't work in the realm of nightlife. It just means that you should create a job or find a job that you're passionate about that doesn't involve you working at night. You could work in the nightlife industry, but not have to work at night. You could find some way to get involved in that industry that doesn't involve you being there at night. You follow? So for example, you could sell lights, you could sell electronics, you could be a promoter, you could be any variety of things that involves yourself in the nightlife industry that isn't you being somewhere at night. So lifestyle design is incredibly important. Figuring out how you want to spend your days, how you want to spend your time is extremely crucial. Who do you want to be talking to? Who do you want to be interacting with? What types of conversations do you want to be having throughout the day? Who do you want to be around? And what do you want your mind to be going on, and what do you want your mind to be thinking about during the day as you do all of these things? Hold on a second. Okay. So you've understood that you don't want to do things that don't fit into your life design. You also don't want to do things that involve acts or actions that you don't want to go. I don't want to work outside. I don't want to work with my hands. I don't want to use my body. I don't want to be laboring outside. I want to use my mind. Okay. Now, what are your strengths? What are the things that you can do that you're better at doing than the next group of people? And if you have strengths that are uncommon, then you have to really lean into those strengths and take away from the weaknesses that you might have. So for example, let's say that you really like to talk, but you don't like being on video. Maybe it's a podcast that's right for you as opposed to a video show. Maybe you don't mind being on camera, but you don't want to write everything down. Maybe you use improvisation as opposed to writing out a script. If you really like to write, but you don't like to be seen on camera, then maybe you should be writing. There's ways to understand the strengths that you have and what you want to lean into without necessarily figuring out exactly what it's going to look like. So for me, like, I really loved the internet, right? So I'm like, I love the internet. The internet is gonna be a solution that's gonna allow me to not work outside. It's also gonna now allow me to not use my body. It's gonna allow me to use my brain, to use thought. So if I use the internet, how can I succeed on the internet? It's like, if all of these people are competing on the web, now, okay, I've established that the internet is the right place for me to pursue my passion. Well, is the internet gonna be bigger 5 years from now? Will the internet be more valuable 5 years from now? Are more people going to be using the internet 5 years from now? Is the business that I want to go into, is the thing that I'm passionate about, is it growing? Is it going to be larger? Will there be more money in that realm for me to tap into later down the line? Am I going after something that's a dying business? If I'm interested in cars, do I want to be going towards electric cars or do I want to be going towards gas-powered cars? It's like understanding where the marketplace is and where the marketplace is going to go and where you fit in it is really important. So when I started getting into the internet, it was kind of like, well, if I am teaching somebody how to use a computer that's 30 years older than me, and I know how to use the computer because I'm young and this is something that I can absorb up, and I know that the internet's going to be bigger and the web's going to be bigger and whatever else, if I can beat somebody that's 30 years ahead of me, that's a strength. So I need to lean into that strength. I need to do more and figure out how to be a specialist in this area where other people are going to be farther behind. You know what you don't want to do. You know what you like to do, things that you would do on the side anyways. You just got to figure out a way to monetize it. On the internet, what I think is probably the easiest way to monetize anything and all things going now into the future is to figure out a way to take whatever it is that you care about, whatever you love, whatever you're passionate about, and use the internet to magnify it, to multiply it, to grow it. So how do you use the internet to do that? Well, again, it's establishing what's the thing that you're the most passionate about. What would you do on the weekend? Do you think about politics? Do you talk about politics? Do you read what do you read books about? What do you do for fun on the side? What do you do? Like, do you go to the beach? Do you go to the river? Do you drive your boat? Do you drive whatever? Where do you have skills? Well, I really love mechanics and I love being on my boat, but how am I going to monetize that? You build boats, you design boats, you clean boats, you do whatever you have to do to be in the boating sphere. And what I always tell people is that your passion or your career is usually 10 degrees to the left or 10 degrees to the right of what you thought it was going to be. So if you've established that you like the internet and you established that you like building websites, for example, like I did, it's like, where am I going to be most successful on the internet and building websites? Building websites led me to a place that led me to this next venture, to this next venture. It was always just 10 degrees off to the left or 10 degrees off to the right of what I thought it was going to be. So if you don't give up on whatever direction that it is that you're going, if you don't give up on the career that you like and you just get yourself closer to it, you learn different things about what you like and don't like about that career as you immerse yourself in it. But now what's important with the passion discussion, which I think a lot of people kind of forget about, is like, okay, you're passionate about building gingerbread houses. Okay. Now, how can you be around building gingerbread houses? How can you make building gingerbread houses part of your life and specialize and get better at that, but still make money somewhere in that realm between now and then? You have to figure out a way to use your strengths and use the things that you care about to produce the most value for other people. So figure out how to monetize some element of the thing that you're the most passionate about until you can make that your full-time gig. So for example, I loved the internet. I wanted to be able to blow up on the internet. I wanted to know more about the internet. People hire me to build websites. Well, that gets me closer to the internet. That makes me closer to an influencer. That makes me closer so that I understand how to design graphics. It teaches me all these different things about the internet that somebody else is now paying me to kind of learn along the way. As I'm building somebody else a website, I learn about their business, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. I'm learning different ways to market, to grow, to monetize, and all these different things. So I'm learning about the internet as I go in the direction of as I go in the direction of things online, and it's helping me become better at whatever my craft might be, whatever my skill ultimately might end up being. Along this journey towards finding your passion, you have to try to understand, like, how can I extract cash from this in the meantime? How can I extract as much money as possible from this venture as I go in the direction that I want to go? And the answer is to figure out how you can help other people make money. The most important part of finding your passion is figuring out how you can help other people make money first. How do you create success for other people? There's some quote that I do not remember who it's from, but it was something along the lines of, the person that has the most money, the person that has the most success, has helped the most people. If you can figure out how to help somebody else make money, figure out how to help somebody else make money. That's how you help yourself make money. So you understand that you can't give up. You understand that if you just go towards the things that you don't want to do and make sure that you understand the things that you don't want to do and try to find the limited amount of things that you do want to do. You look at the things that you would do on the side that you would do anyways, that you're passionate about anyways, that you already love. And then you figure out how to make people money, make other people money, make other businesses money around that thing that you want to do so that you get better at that thing. Right? So if you want to do gingerbread houses, all right, I need to work at a confectionery shop. I need to work at a place that's going to teach me how to get better at baking. Maybe people don't want gingerbread houses. Maybe they want cake design. Maybe they want elaborate cake design. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to get myself closer to that goal. I'm going to get myself closer to that realm so that I can learn all the ins and outs of all the different ingredients and all the different pieces of that business so that I can find my 10% to the left or my 10% to the right along the way. What I can't stress enough is the strengths. Figure out where you have an advantage. What are you better at than the next 10 people? What are you better at doing? What could you do no matter what? What could you love so much that you would do it anyways, despite the fact that it's difficult, despite the fact that it's hard, despite the fact that it's challenging, right? So for me, this is the only example I have is myself, right? So it's just like, I was like, I like building websites. I love building websites. It helps me create profits and create success for other people, for other businesses. So if I build websites, that's going to make me better at building websites, which means I can build my own website better. It's going to allow me the lifestyle design that I want. It's going to give me all of the tools and ingredients to make me better at this skill. It's not my end goal. It's just how I monetize from now until I get to the next step. Meanwhile, what was I doing as I was building those websites? I was learning how to build products online. I was learning how to market your business online. I was learning how to create graphics. I was learning how to create an online store, to run an e-commerce platform. Meanwhile, what was I doing in the meantime? I was studying the economy. I was studying passion. I was studying motivation. I was studying business and entrepreneurship. I was studying politics. I was studying money. I was studying the stock market. And what did all of these ingredients and tools make possible when the opportunity presented itself? Here I was just yelling some videos into my phone. A video blew up. I pursued that opportunity, right? Because the entrepreneurial skills had all been developed. I knew how to build a website, build an e-commerce platform, create graphics. I knew how to run all these other entities. And then when the next level, the next piece up, the next passionate piece rose up, I had all these baseline skills that allowed me to advance better. I know how to build a website. The next chooch that yells into his phone might not. I know how to build an e-commerce store. The next guy that yells into his phone and does political videos might not. I know how to make graphics. I can do it faster. I have a great work ethic. I'm willing to work as hard as I can. I'm never going to give up. I understand search engine optimization. I understand how to put everything I can into something, right? So it's just like, these are the lessons that you learn along the way. So it's just like, I would be doing this anyways. When I think about making videos and whatnot, I'm like, I just want to make the video. That's what I want to do. If I could just do this forever, if I could just, at least that's what it seems like right now. It's like, I'm just going to do this. I make funny videos. I talk about what's going on in the world. I interact and connect with all of you people. It creates the lifestyle design I want, the social design that I want. It's inspiring. It helps other people. It helps me. It's being rewarded financially, and all these other things are occurring that's making it beneficial. So it's just like, that's a win. That's how you level up. I could never have just been like 12 years ago gone, I'm going to make political videos and influence on social media. I would have never been able to create a target like that. What I had to figure out was, how do I make more money for other people along the way? How do I develop a skill set along the way that's going to empower me when the next opportunity presents itself, so that I can use all of those skills to then capture the next opportunity? So it's like, if you like it and you're passionate about it and you love it, and it's something that you would do anyways, and it's something that you already do, you have an advantage in the marketplace. Think about things like public speaking. A lot of people mark public speaking as a great fear that they have. I'm not afraid of public speaking. I love public speaking. So naturally it's like, okay, I'm going to find I have a strength in public speaking that gives me an advantage over the next 99 people. I'm going to do public speaking. I'm going to find a way to use public speaking. Well, what's the most distributed public speaking there is? Talking on your phone. So it's like, all right, I'm not afraid to put the camera on myself. So I should do that, right? It's just like, I should do something that gives me an advantage over the next person. I should do something that I have a strength in, and then I'm going to get better at it. The first thing that you make is going to be the worst thing that you ever make. So just figure that out and understand that if you just look to the other side of your fear and you find the thing that you could be uniquely good at in a big pool of people, and you just lean into that strength, then you'll win. Some people are better at doing long form research and talking, right? But they don't want the camera on themselves. Maybe you'd really succeed at a podcast. Some people are like, I don't want to talk. I hate my voice, whatever. I really love to write though. Okay, write. You could write for a newspaper. You could write for an online magazine. You could start a blog. You could write movie scripts. There's a variety of different things that you could do. Okay, so let's say that you want to write movie scripts. Okay, you want to write movie scripts. Well, how do you get better at writing? Do a job that's going to make you better at writing until you're starting to write movie scripts. You start writing movie scripts on the side, and then work for a place that lets you write movie scripts, write TV scripts, write commercial scripts. Figure out where the lowest hanging fruit is in that marketplace, and then figure out how to make other people money. Leaning into your strengths is like the most important thing by far. And figuring out like the thing that you would do anyways, the thing that you want to do anyways. And the most important thing aside from that is just like showing up. You know, there's days where like videos that I post don't get as many views as the one before, but it's like, I'm just gonna not stop showing up. I'm gonna not stop putting out new content. I'm not gonna stop trying different things to make it so that I can succeed at whatever it is that I want to succeed at. That's the thing. It's like, if you don't give up, there's no failure. The failure is what leads you. The failure is the prerequisite to success. The failure is what leads you to the next thing. Failure is the thing that teaches you a lesson that helps you level up to the next step. That's the whole point. So, consistency, caring about it, loving it, understanding what you are already doing, and then figuring out how to do something around that monetizes other people's lives, that monetizes other people's business, will make you better at whatever it is that you're doing. If you want to be a videographer, let's say you want to make movies, right? You want to make movies. Start making your own movie. Make short movies. Start putting out content online. Start putting out content on social. Start figuring out who needs video editing services. I don't want to edit videos for some other person, but I'm going to use that as a way to build up side cash along my journey to where I start making real cash, that I start making movies. You get better at video editing and someone's paying you to do it, right? You figure out how to make money for other people that will help you sharpen and enhance the skills that you want to be the best at. It doesn't have to look like you think it's going to look. It just has to be in that general direction. Now, if you don't give up, if you have a resilience to criticism, if you listen to signals, you listen to what the numbers tell you, you listen to what people tell you, you ask people for help, you look online and you educate yourself, you learn more stuff about whatever your craft is and you get better at it all the time, then how could you possibly not succeed? Every person that's ever tried something for the long term, that's been willing to adjust and maneuver and react to signals, has been successful. It didn't necessarily look like they thought it was going to look, but they become really, really successful at something related to it. A lot of baseball players, for example, a baseball player that plays in the major leagues maybe has an okay career, but then they end up crushing it as a manager. right? They become a manager later. They become a coordinator later. They become a batting coach later. And then they become the best batting coach ever because they never stop just getting into wherever they fit in. They figured out what they're passionate about. They focus on that. They get themselves around it. They get themselves around people that talk about it, think about it, be about it. And it gives them more and more strength and more skills. It's also not that bad of an idea to get a job in a career that you like and figure out how to make that your full-time gig by just learning from them, learning from all the mistakes that they make, learning by watching and observing the things that they do on a daily basis and using those and applying those in your own business. The other thing is like there's this roadblock that a lot of people have where they're just like, well, I don't have enough money to do it, or I don't have enough time to do it. There's not enough money, there's not enough time. Money will oftentimes actually create more of a roadblock than you think. And having the money to do something actually makes you not have the right amount of adversity. Because it teaches you that okay, I can spend all this money. You spend the money quickly. You're not up against the wall. You don't have to scrap for success. It's that scrapping for success that ultimately leads you to the type of mindset that's necessary for you to succeed in the long term. So you focus on your strengths, you never give up, you're educating yourself constantly, perfecting your craft, you're recognizing what it is that you want to do, what you love to do anyways, and you do more of that. You focus on doing more of that, and you understand that you can monetize absolutely anything. You can monetize anything, anytime, all the time, now until forever. The simplest way I think to monetize anything is to use the internet. Go online and just Google how to make money doing blank. How to make money doing blank. That is the key. That is the most crucial element. Now, anyways. I think what's really important to understand is, let's see. Okay. I think what's really important to understand about all this stuff is, hold on, I'm just going to check one thing here. Okay. All right. What's really important to understand about all this stuff is that like you absolutely can achieve at this no matter what. You can absolutely be successful at this no matter what. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to have the mindset. You have to be willing to educate yourself. You have to be willing to work really hard. You have to be willing to do research. You have to educate yourself constantly. You have to constantly be perfecting your craft. So with that all being said, I think what would be really, really helpful, I see a few people on the Facebook live stream. I see a few people here on the Instagram live stream. Let's answer some questions. Does anybody have any questions? Because I think some questions will probably lead me down into some pretty good answers. So hit me with some questions. Anybody on Facebook, ask me some questions. Anybody on Instagram, hit me with some questions. What do you guys have for questions? And I'll see if I can help out and directly answer questions. On Instagram, you can answer questions by hitting this little button right here. On Facebook, I'm looking at the conversation at the chat feed right here as well. So hit me with some questions. The first question, what up? Okay. And Marked Life says, how do you get your website out there? Okay. What you guys can do on Instagram is you can ask questions using this button, and then it'll archive them so I can go back and reference them and I can pull them up. So the questions asked through the Instagram feature will be the best way to save them. Otherwise, the chat will go up. So how do you get your website out there? The way that you get your website out there is a couple of things. First, you have to have a well-built website that looks great, that loads quickly, that's easy to access from anywhere in the world. It has to have great content on it, unique, original content that grows and evolves over time. So build a website on WordPress if it's a content-based site. Pretty much any website out there, use WordPress. Go online and look up how to use WordPress. Go online and look up how to use WordPress to build a website. Plenty of YouTube tutorials. Find a person that builds WordPress websites. Go online and look for WordPress assistants and whatnot. There's inexpensive solutions for this anywhere in the world. Use WordPress to build most websites. If you're building an e-commerce website, I suggest that you use Shopify, shopify.com. Great solution for building an e-commerce website. That's where you start at. A great website has great, unique, original content that's consistently growing over time. It loads quickly on a mobile device. It looks good on a mobile device. It's very, very clear messaging. The text is obvious, easy to read. The content is direct and forward. And what's the most important thing about building and managing a website is making sure that the information on that site clearly explains the value of the business to someone else. What is the value of the business to someone else? Let's see. Okay. What is the value of the business to somebody else? Meaning, how are you going to create value for that business? So most people think of selling their products or thinking their services like this. They say, I have the best blank. It's the best blank in the world. It has this feature and this feature and this feature and this feature, and you should buy it. How you should actually sell something is you sell based on the value that's created for them. You sell based on the value that's created for them as a result of hiring you for that product or service. Do you have a problem with X? We have the best solution for that. Do you want to make more money, grow your business, accelerate your growth, get new customers, and make more money? Here's how we're going to help you do that. You talk about what's the benefit to them. What's the value created to them? It's about what they get, not about what you have. It's not about what you have. It's about what they get. What you have, they get. What do I get? So for my web development business, it's like, do you want to make more money and grow your business and reach more customers and have your business look sharper than any other business in your industry? We have the solution for you. We're going to help you with a website that's going to grow your customers, grow your revenue, and help you make more money. Versus, make the best websites in the world. Only I can make the best website there ever was a website. It has all the features and all the bells and whistles that you would ever want. You should buy a website from me. It's about this website's going to make you more money. That's how your business is going to grow. On Facebook, Sam says, is there a major sign of when is the right time to go off and do your own thing? When to stop working for the man? Imagine it's when your side hustle is robust enough to replace your full-time job. Here's what I think about that. The major sign when it's the right time to go off and do your own thing is when you have enough money saved and the business is generating enough money to justify that. So for example, if you pare down all of your expenses to the point where you're like, all right, I only need $10,000 a year to live, or I need $12,000 a year to live, and your business is making 15 or 20 or whatever, then it might be a good time to go. It's just like, you have to make sure that you have the money there so that you don't get put up against a wall. So I would say the time to go off and do your own thing is when you are confident enough that it can generate enough cash to sustain you so that you don't have a time limit. So it's like, oh, if I don't do it in 9 months, I got to go get another job again. It should just be like, you make the transition once, you never look back. That would be my philosophy. Make sure that you have enough cash savings. Make sure that your business is generating enough money to justify it, or that you've saved enough money to justify going there so that you don't end up with your back up against the wall. That, I think, is the key to the major sign of when it's the right time to do your own thing. I'm going to take some questions on the book here. Okay, Huey Meady says, do you think it's smart to make a different channel for different subjects or throw all my interests in one channel? I struggled with this as well when I first was creating this channel, and I think that it depends. Think about it like this. This channel right now is political satire videos, economic and money videos, whatever, comedy, yet here I am talking about not that, right? This video is not very funny. This is about success in business, passion, lifestyle, whatever you want to say. I would say just keep it in one place. I don't think that the separation is necessary. I think people are multidimensional beings, and we're smart enough to understand that you can talk about and address multiple things from one channel. So I would say keep it to a single channel and just lean into the fact that that's what's great about it. Now, if one of them is like how to build things with wood, and the other one is like, and the other one is something completely not even close to remotely related by any stretch of the imagination, then okay, maybe in that case. But I would say you don't want to fracture your attention into all these different channels, specifically for the case of making it one thing. I think that you can cover a variety of different things. Think about it like MTV. Like, what is MTV? It used to be music. Now it's all these other things, lifestyle and a variety of other things. I would say just make sure that they're somewhat loosely related and use the single channel. Don't fracture your time. Okay, this is a great question, also on Instagram. What would you say to people who have so many passions and need help narrowing it down? I struggled with this exact same thing for the longest time. I really did. Okay, you have multiple passions. Gary Vee has lots of great content on this matter, and it's like I find myself wanting to like reach his level of clarity on this specific topic, but I'm like, all I have is my own experience, right? So I'll do the best that I can. What would you say to people who have so many passions and need help at narrowing it down? We all have a variety of different passions. What I would look into is like, what is the passion that you have that you're willing to pursue with the greatest ambition? What is the passion that you have strengths in, that you have the most strengths in? If you're passionate about 10 different things, what's the one that you're the strongest in? And what's the one where you could really excel? What could you be the best in the world at? The best in the world, best to ever do it in the whole world. What is your true strength? Where do you have the absolute most strength? And secondly, which one of those is the most monetizable? The most objectively monetizable, right? Because understanding the potential value, short-term, long-term value of that decision that you're making is extremely crucial. Because it's like, just because you're strong in it doesn't mean that it's highly monetizable. So like on the internet, for example, the number one most valuable search on the internet is like mesothelioma attorney, right? So when you're building a content site, you're like, I should build a content site about mesothelioma attorney, followed closely by like insurance and like medical malpractice insurance. So it's like, oh, let me make a website about medical malpractice insurance or mesothelioma or whatever insurance, because that's where the most money is. But if I don't have any strengths there, then I won't win. So it's just like, it's not always about what's the most monetizable. It's what's the most monetizable skill that I have, that I'm passionate about, that I care about, that I have a strength, that I have a leg up, that I have an advantage in the marketplace. Where do I have an advantage over the next 100 people? Where is my advantage? Where is my strength and my passion? Advantage, strength, passion. How do I have a leg up on the next group of people? Where's my advantage? Because you want to try to find that advantage. It's so crucial, because it's just like let's say, for example, let me think of an example for advantage. So like I said, let's talk about like my account, for example. How do I have an advantage over the next person that yells into their phone? I can build a website. I can build an e-commerce store. I already work for myself, so I can dedicate all my time to it. I understand the internet. I know how to chop video, shoot video, edit video. I understand comedic timing because I love comedy. I pay attention to politics already. I pay attention to the economy already. I love it anyways. I'm not afraid of putting the camera on myself. I'm not afraid of talking off the cuff. I'm not afraid of taking risks. I'm not afraid of putting in relentless work ethic. That's an advantage. So it's just like, take the advantage, find the passion. Where am I stronger than the next group of jabrones? And then I advance confidently in that direction. It's not about, and then it's like, is it monetizable? Well, the most polarizing years in politics in the history of time, as far as I can see, it was this past year. The most voted in election in the history of the United States politics was this past year. The most people paying attention to this specific subject matter was this past year. Okay? I'm using the phone. I'm using a mobile device. Well, that's going to be used more. You got 5G internet. It's going to bring access to more people around the world. Only a certain percentage of the people even have access to high-speed internet. It's marketable around the planet. U.S. politics dictates so much of how the entire world operates. So it's just like, I see the chart going up. You got phone. You got spread around the planet. You got video, the most monetizable piece of media that you can make. I'm not afraid of putting the camera on myself. I'm not afraid of putting myself out there. I study it anyways. I'm passionate about it anyways. I care about it anyways. It's highly monetizable. It's growing. Win, 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 win across the board. That's how you win. Now it's like, I have all these advantages that I've built and skills that I've built over time by knowing what I was passionate about and strong and had the advantage in. Websites, online marketing, building up a web presence. That's my advantage against the next guy. That's the thing. That's the thing. Find your advantage and your passion and what's going to be highly monetizable. And that's how I would say you narrow it down. How do I charge people with disabilities on a fixed income? That's the most consistent objective to working with me. Well, here's the best answer that I can give about that and prices. Most people do not decide not to buy a product or service based on price. I'll repeat that. Most people do not choose whether or not to buy a product or service based on price. The thing that matters when you buy a product or service is value, not price, value, okay? The amount of value that you create, if it exceeds the cost of whatever it is that you're providing, people will buy it all day. It's about creating more value than the price. So objections to price are often from people that are not seeing the value of what it is that you'll make. So if you say, I don't know exactly what your product or service is, but it's like people buy value, they don't buy price. So create more value. Figure out how you can make them more value. I don't know what your product or service is, but you got to focus on the value, not the price. Have you used Squarespace? Another question on Instagram. Have I used Squarespace? Thoughts in comparison to WordPress? Yes, I've used Squarespace a number of different times. WordPress is a more professional tool, a more professional instrument that I think creates better and more scalable websites. It's not self-contained on a single platform. You own it outright. WordPress, I think, is just a better solution overall. It's a more professional solution for creating a higher quality website that search engines love. So I highly suggest WordPress. Now, people will say, well, Squarespace is easier to use. Okay, WordPress is getting easier to use. There's lots of tutorials online. I think any average person could learn how to use WordPress, or invest in your business and have somebody teach you. And have somebody teach you. I think WordPress is just objectively better in a vast majority of ways. So the next question on Instagram: any books or podcasts that you recommend that for entrepreneurship that you can recommend? So there's a great book by Peter Thiel called 0 to 1. I would highly suggest that you check out 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. I think that that's absolutely crucial. There's another book called, I believe it's called Tribes by, yeah. There's a book called Tribe by Sebastian Junger. I would highly suggest that you check out Tribe. That one's very interesting. And 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, I think, is really helpful. There's a really awesome book by this guy named Peter Jones. Let me see if I can get you the book name. He was on the show called The Dragon's Den, and I would highly recommend everybody watches the shows The Prophet, Shark Tank, and Bar Rescue. Those are really great business shows that teach you a lot. There's a book by Peter Jones called Tycoon. I would highly suggest that you check out this book by Peter Jones called Tycoon. It's a really simple and easy read. Came out in 2007. A lot of great lessons in Tycoon. I would highly suggest that one as well. I'm not a huge book person. I don't read a ton of books, but I would highly suggest that you just go online and listen to business podcasts. Soak up as much information as possible. Listen to people like Brad Lee. Listen to people like Grant Cardone. Read that book Tycoon by Peter Jones, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, and just go online and look for entrepreneurial stuff. You'll figure out who you like. It's like, recommendations are great, but what's really the best is that you find the thing that connects with you the most. I see someone in the comments mentioned Andy Frisella. Absolutely, Andy Frisella's podcast is great. Mindset, business motivation, a variety of other things. I would highly suggest that and recommend that as well. Okay. Yep, Ed Milet. Yeah, absolutely. So Belinda Penning says on Instagram, do you still build websites? So this is what I thought about this. Is like, I was building websites for 13 years. It was something that I was passionate about, that I love to do, right? But then I saw this opportunity to build this channel. So I'm like, all right, I have to figure out if I can establish an income stream from this. So let me see if I can create an income stream before I transition away from building websites. So I don't really build websites very much anymore. I've been focusing primarily on this and on other investments because I believe that I can build this up to supplant that income. I think that this could be much larger. It's something I'm more passionate about. It's something that I'm more interested in right now than building websites. It's a higher tier thing that I think has more impact. So I haven't been building websites, but I've been focusing specifically on this. All right. Does anybody else have any questions on Instagram or any questions on Facebook? So again, I didn't prepare much for this because I think that the basic fundamentals, it's like a relatively short lesson. It's it's something that you already do. It's something that you care about. It's something that you're passionate about. It's understanding that you can monetize absolutely anything. It's figuring out where you have a strength, figuring out where you have an advantage in the marketplace, and just leaning into it, and then just never quitting. Always educating yourself, getting sharper, getting better, and figuring out how to learn and get better at something. That's the game. And I think that anybody can find their passion by just taking a real good audit of themselves, the life that they want to live, the direction that they want to go, what they want their life to look like, what they want their life to be designed like, who they want to be talking to, who they want to be around, what they want to do with their body or their mind. What's something that you're passionate about anyways? Do you love cars? Do you love music? Do you love books? Do you love writing? Do you love video? Do you love watching movies? What is it that you like? What is it that you care about? What is it that you're already doing? Because the thing that you're most passionate about is something that you already do in your daily life. You just haven't figured out how to monetize it yet. You just haven't figured out or realized that it is monetizable. You don't understand that you can monetize those things, and that is the game. I think that's the most important thing to remember. So just keep that in mind. Have you been studying mindset stuff for a long time, or is this something you stumbled into later in life? Mindset is the entire game. It's the entirety of the game. It's like the roots of the tree. It's where all things stem from. That's the only thing really that matters, and without it, all other things are lost. So I would say that for me, it was always a game of mindset. It was always like, how do I win? I spend a lot of time in introspective thought, just literally like staring at the ocean, staring at the trees, staring at the sky, and just thinking. When I walk the dog, when I move through life, I'm like, how do I get ahead? What's my next move? How do I get there? Mindset has always been a crucial thing for me, and I think that it needs to be a crucial thing for everybody, because like, what goes on in your brain dictates a lot about how your life unfolds in front of you, how you look at things, how you react to things, whether or not you're willing to advance towards something that you really, really want, or whether or not you pull back. Your mind will make or break every single move that you make, because it psychs you in or psychs you out of things. So I think that mindset has always been something that's been crucial for me, but in the later years, like in my late 20s and early 30s, was when I realized that it like truly is the dictate that controls all things. So it's something that I realized the importance of later, but I always was doing it. I was always paying attention to it. How often do you set goals and audit your vision for the future? I would say daily. I'm constantly taking inventory of what's happening in my day-to-day life. What am I thinking about? What am I doing? Where am I going? Who am I talking to? What are the things that I'm choosing to put into my brain and take out of my brain? What are the things that are coming out of my mouth? What are the things that I'm typing? Where am I going? What am I looking at? What am I consuming? What am I choosing to consume? So I think that, see, like, I don't set goals in the sense that I'm like out here like, by this date I will do this. But I do set mental goals. Like, by the end of the year I want to have this much money in the market. By the end of the year I want to have this much money coming in from this thing. I want to try to produce 2 videos a day or 3 videos a day. I want to make my videos longer, or figure out how to make more money from them. I want to do more live streams, or I want to make the live streams better or more substantive. It's about setting daily goals. I'm always on the daily goal setting, the daily auditing. I rarely set long-term goals, although I do think it's important to know where you're going to be in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. I do think that that's important, but I don't get hung up on setting these goals and being like, all right, that's where it is. But I do set daily, weekly, monthly goals of what I try to do, what I try to accomplish in the short term. But I'm not like writing them down. Everybody has a different way of learning or different way of applying themselves as it relates to this type of stuff. And I just do what works for me. And I'm like, how do I get better tomorrow? I audit my operation every day. I'm constantly thinking about what's the move for tomorrow. And what's the move for today, really? Have you ever had the issue, the next question, have you ever had the issue of wanting to pursue many things and unsure of which path to pursue, especially if they aren't related? Yes, we talked about that earlier. I'm not sure if you were in here, Megan, when I talked about that, but again, what is the most monetizable thing that you're the most, let's say you're passionate about 10 things. Which one do you have the greatest advantage, and which one is the highest, is the most objectively monetizable, and which one has the market that's going to grow the most? I would go in that direction. Where I have the greatest passion is the most objectively monetizable, where it will grow, and where do I have the greatest advantage? What would you say is a way to move through fear and resistance? How do you sustain motivation? Looks like they lost audio on Facebook. That sucks. I don't understand why that happens. That's so annoying. Yo, Facebook, hit me with a thumbs up if you guys can hear me on Facebook. That's so fucking annoying. Unfortunately, Facebook's gonna lose me because I don't think they have audio anymore. But anyways, I'll stay here on Instagram. So the way to move through fear and resistance, how do you sustain your motivation? I think that okay, somebody says they can still hear me. All right, that's great. Okay, good. All right, so I think that going through okay, cool. Everybody can. Good, that's awesome. All right, so everybody is going to have fears all the time. If you understand that fear is the roadblock separating you from success, from your greatest success, then you try to start leaning into fear, right? Because fear is just like I've said on previous videos, there are only two emotions, fear and love, right? So fear is just that negative voice, just the thing that's preventing you from having a better life. Tony Horton, the creator of the P90X fitness program, said that excuses are self-imposed obstacles that prevent you from having a better life. So I think that fear is just your body's natural resistance to change. So if you lean into fear and just have no fear and know that you're only going to get better, and even if you fail, it's going to make you better at whatever it is that you're doing, then you just like that, you move right through fear. So resistance. Don't worry about resistance. There's always resistance. All good things come after being under great pressure. And then how do you sustain motivation? You sustain motivation by knowing that it's going to lead you to a better place. That's going to lead you to a place that's more that gives you more freedom. If you believe in the goal, if you believe in the end result, if you believe in what you will achieve as a result, staying motivated stays right there, because it's not about money, it's about freedom. It's not about money, it's about how do I live the best life? How do I pursue my personal legend? All of those things become possible, and it's just like it's hard to not stay motivated when you know that this is the greatest challenge you could ever have, that you could overcome every obstacle, that you could defeat fear, that you could be the greatest version of yourself. So staying motivated is nothing more than recognizing that the target is worth pursuing constantly now until forever. So you sustain motivation by keeping in mind the end result, and also keeping in mind that you should be having fun along the way. So that would be my thought on that matter. President-elect says, how do you separate and choose the right people to cooperate or associate with? Well, I think that just like mindset, people are either an energy suck or an energy growth. They either contribute to your success or they detract from it. So I think that being around people that are optimistic, people that believe in abundance and not scarcity, people that are inherently positive, people that are encouraging, people that want to help other people succeed, people that celebrate your success and celebrate their own success, people that stay motivated. I think that that's the crucial thing. It's like you instinctively know who those people are, and the more that you eliminate the people from your life that bring your energy down, that fill your mind with doubt, the easier and quickly and the speed in which you remove those people from your life, the better off you're going to be. So separating and choosing the right people to cooperate or associate with is like, who do you trust? Who do you like? Who stays optimistic? Who thinks in terms of abundance? Who lifts others up? Who helps other people? Who helps themselves? Who's ambitious? Who has drive? Who's caring and loving and passionate? And who thinks positively? Positive thoughts are the key, and you need to surround yourself with people like that. Also surround yourself with people that are successful. Get around people that are more successful. Change the people that you allow into your life, and change the people that you offer your precious time to. Macy S. King says, do you have any advice for somebody wanting to start up a very small business? Start it. Do it. Register an LLC and do it. Set some money aside and go for it. What's the advice? I mean, I don't know how to give somebody advice on how to start up a very small business. I don't know what a very small business is. I mean, why make it very small? Why should it be very small? Why should it not just be small? Why not medium size? Why not large? Why not big? Why is it very small? I don't know. But I would say if you want to start up a small business and you want advice for it, start it. Lean into all the things that I've been talking. Lean into all the things I've been talking to. Talking about where do you have an advantage? Where are you better than the next group of people? What's the most monetizable? How can you help the most people? The people that have the most money have helped the most people. That's what it is. They help people. People donate to me on Venmo because they enjoyed it. I entertain them. They like it. I help them. I produced value, more value than the $20 that they sent me on Venmo. That's the whole point. Like, you create value for others and you get rewarded financially. That's the game. So I would say just do it. Just go for it. What has been your biggest obstacle in your journey to this stage of success so far? The biggest obstacle? Inaction. Inaction is the biggest obstacle by far. Inaction. You have to be risk adverse. And inaction, spinning your wheels and not making a decision and then dealing with the consequences has been the greatest thing that's been a roadblock for me and I think most people. Inaction. Trying to make it perfect. Trying to plan it out. That insane, incessant need to make it perfect or flawless, that inaction is destructive. Inaction has been the biggest obstacle for me. Make decisions and move forward constantly. Never stop getting better. Don't doubt yourself. It's like, you can do it. There's someone else that's eating your lunch while you try to figure out if you can do it or not. I have had adults' pimples for over 6 months. It's not going away. Get proactive. I would say proactive is a good way to do that. I didn't look at the question for you. Moonful Mama says, any SEO tips? Search engine optimization is nothing more than creating high quality, unique, original content consistently over time that provides value to other people. High quality, unique, original content consistently over time that provides value to other people. That's the best search engine optimization tip that I have, is provide value. Create value for others. Figure out how to demonstrate the value that you create and put it on your website. That's the best SEO tip there is. There's no shortcut. It's all about creating value. That is the name of the game. Thank you to Billy online. Facebook, you can still hear me, right? Good. If you're on Facebook and you still hear me, hit me with a thumbs up. Let me know that you can still hear me. Does anybody else have any questions on Instagram? Anybody else have any questions on Facebook? I think the questions are very helpful. Yep, for sure. Hey, you know, this is the thing. It's like, I don't read that many books, and I probably should. I'm sure that I'll get better at doing that. But like, to me, this is a much more digestible piece of media, which is why this is the type of media that I'm creating. But thank you for that. Appreciate it. Do you have people that you go to for feedback before making decisions? Sometimes. The answer to that question is sometimes. However, anything that creates a potential roadblock to you making a decision, to me, is a bottleneck. You don't want to rely on somebody else's opinion. You want to just follow your intuition, because ultimately your success is mostly determined by your... Thank you, Megan, for the Venmo. I appreciate that. Your success is determined by your ability to make decisions quickly, act on them, and put them into process and put them into execution. So if if you have to go to other people for feedback, it just gives you an excuse to not make the decision on your own. So I would say, like, I don't go to people before I make decisions the vast majority of the times. I just make the decision, because ultimately I feel like I'm the best and most equipped person to run my business. And I think that a lot of us dismiss our responsibility or our own capacity to succeed at high levels by being like, well, I don't know enough about X, so I need to ask other people for. Just do it. Figure it out. Throw it at the wall, see if it sticks, and then adjust based on that information. Now, sometimes, like, I'll have a video that I'll be like, I don't know, and I might send it to someone and say, what do you think of this video? And they'll reassure me. But I would say 99.5% of the decisions that I make, I just make them. I just go for it and just decide it. Feedback is important, but you don't want to let feedback dictate the direction that you want to go, because the person that knows how to run your business the best is you. You are the one that knows how to run it the best. Everyone's going to chirp at you. And here's the thing. Feedback is not necessarily feedback in terms of money feedback. The best feedback is sales. The best feedback is a transaction. The best feedback is whether or not people buy it, whether or not people watch it, whether or not people share it, whether or not people comment on it, whether or not people DM you and say this was great, whether or not people show up to buy more of it, whether or not they return to your website, whether or not they return for an additional purchase, whether or not they buy more with it, right? The action, the feedback is the sales. The feedback is the numbers. The feedback is the responses back. Anybody's opinion is just like, it's kind of like everyone is quick to give opinions, but will they act with their dollars? That's the real question, because people are very careful about how they move their money and their attention around. So I would say the best feedback is money and attention, sales, and actions. What actually goes down is crucial. I definitely think the customers are the feedback, like Anna is saying. I want to do only what I love, music, dance, and art, but I don't know how to make a living. Where are music, dancing, and art doing right now? Or where are they thriving right now? Here. Social media, right? If you're not doing music, dance, and art on your social and posting about it every day, all the time, then you're not motivated. People love music. People love art. People love dance. You don't know how to make a living. Maybe you need to do more of it, and you got to figure out how to help other people with it. If you love music, for example, okay, let's say I love making music. Well, figure out how you could sell that music now. Instead of saying, I'm going to make an album, I'm going to sell 50 million copies of my album. Who needs help with music? So people need help with music that are making TV commercials, that are making internet commercials. Let's say you see somebody like me and you're like, hey, I make this great music. I would love to help you. I would love to help you add music to your whatever, right? I'm going to produce a free piece of music that you play on your live streams. You have to find ways to have your music create value for others instead of create value for you. The easiest way to make money for yourself is to make other people money. Make other people money. How can your music, dance, and art make other people money? Figure out how to make money for other people, and then you will make money. It's all about creating other people and creating value for others. That's how you make money for yourself. So music, dance, and art, post about it, create constantly, and figure out how to monetize it. People need that. Do it for free for someone that you admire. Learn how to get better at it and figure out what they need that they're willing to pay for now. People, there's TV commercials with dance in it. It may not be you doing the dance that you love, but you're making money. You're selling something. Figure out how to sell it. Figure out how to use it to create value for others before you try, and then you'll be able to make value for yourself. How do you get out of your own head when you find yourself in the inaction state? How do you get out of your own head when you find yourself in the inaction state? It's an interesting question. Well, I was listening to the Real AF podcast the other day, Andy Frisell. Thank you, Josh, for the Venmo. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Josh. How do you get yourself out of the inaction state? I was listening to Real AF podcast with Andy Frisell the other day, and he was talking about how when your mind has like these two voices, it's like the good and the bad, like on your shoulder. The voice in your head, right? And he was saying that whenever your mind is telling you to not do something, that's what you should go do. The thing that's the harder thing is the thing that you're supposed to do. You just have to realize and understand that listening to that voice and going directly at the thing it tells you not to do, that's what you're supposed to do. Your mind and the way that you think about things is the dictate that controls all of the stuff around you. So if you find yourself in an inaction state, go take action. Make small wins. One of my favorite videos ever that changed my life. I'm gonna look it up for you guys right now. This video changed my life. It's on YouTube. It's on Goalcast on YouTube, and it's called "If You Want to Change the World, Start Off by Making Your Bed." I would highly suggest that everybody watches this speech, or just go on Gagao and type in "Make Your Bed" speech. Basically what he talks about is that if you make your bed in the morning, as soon as you wake up, you've accomplished a task. You've completed a task, and you have just taken an action and completed it. And at the very least, if you have a dog shit day, at the end of that day, you come back to a made bed. So it's a success. It's like you make small accomplishments. Figure out how to get a small win, to make small incremental accomplishments throughout the day. I make my bed every day now. Ever since I watched that video, I make my bed pretty much every day. Changed my life. That video changed my life. So if you have not watched it, watch that video. If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. I make my bed every day now. It's been like 5 or 6 years since I saw that video. I make my bed every day. When I had employees, I had an intern for the summer. The first thing that I made her do on the first day of work as an intern for me is watch that video. Make your bed. That's the solution. Start accomplishing things. I'm going to go take a walk. Take the walk. I'm going to go to the gym. Go to the gym. Make small wins, and it'll get you out of that inaction state. That's my best advice is for that. I don't have any more questions that relate specifically to this on the gram here. How about on Facebook? Thank you, Beverly. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, you're very welcome. Do I have any other questions on the gram or any other questions on the book? All right, so mindset is the thing that really pulls you out of all of these things, and staying motivated day to day. The other thing too is like not celebrating the wins. Like I celebrate my wins, but it's always like what's next. Like I'm always constantly on like what's better? How am I gonna get to the next level? Thank you, Laura, for the Venmo. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Laura just sent in a donation on Venmo. Thank you so much for that. I very much appreciate it. Yes, Billy said on Facebook, it's like exercise. The best day to work out are the days that you don't want to. That's absolutely correct. Yes, make your bed tomorrow. Hell yeah. Marnie said, thank you for this. I'll make my bed tomorrow. You absolutely should. Change my life. Making my bed every day. Changed my life. And like I walk into my room and I'm like, hell yeah. Like I love that. I love walking into my room and seeing a made bed. It changes the way that you feel about your life. And the other thing is to surround you with things that allow you to have a non-cluttered mind. One of the things that I felt was always cluttering my mind was a messy house. I'm like, my house is a mess. Like my floor, I gotta, like your brain goes and does all these other things. Like you're like, I gotta go clean. I gotta go do the dishes. So like I hired a maid. The maid like clears my head. A cluttered space is a cluttered mind. So I'm just like, let me make sure that my space is clear, that my room is clear, that the floors are clean, that the house is clean, that everything is organized and in the right place. On the weekend, instead of going out and partying, I'm like, let me get my shit together. Let me get my closet organized. Let me get geared up for the week. Let me get geared up so that I hit this week at a super high level. Your surroundings dictate how you think about life. When I was buying a car, I remember thinking to myself like, I shouldn't spend more money on this car. But like the car changes how you feel. Like you get into the car, you're like, hell yeah, like look at me. I got this hell yeah, I got this awesome car. Like changes your confidence, changes the way that you feel about the world. So it's just like surround yourself with surroundings that make you feel like you're making progress, that shows that you execute. Surround yourself with things that bring your energy level up. There are studies on the correlation between a clean house and a more restful sleep. Hell yeah, that's awesome. That just further proves the point. So I'll end with this. I'll end with this unless anyone else has any other questions. But here's what I'm going to say. Absolutely all of this begins with mindset first. How do you think about what you're capable of? How do you think about what you can do? How do you think about how you can get ahead? Do you think you could be the best to ever do it? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you have what it takes? Are you hungry enough to push it through to the end? Will you never give up? Do you think it will make you happy? Do you think that you are capable of living the life that you want to lead? Do you think you can do it? Because the answer has to be yes to all those things. So it's mindset, belief, this unrelenting belief that you can be the greatest to ever do it. Finding where you're strong and where you're not, leaning into your strengths, leaning into your advantages in the marketplace. Who do I have an advantage over? If you're 6'8" and the next guy's 6'1", you have an advantage playing basketball. You may not have an advantage being a tax accountant. You understand? Find where you have strengths. Where did you succeed in school? Where were you better than the next 10 people? What are your strengths? Where do you have an advantage in the marketplace? Let's say that, identify your strengths, identify your weaknesses, lean into your strengths, lean into your advantages in the marketplace. Where are you better? Where can you compete at a higher level than the next group of people? Where do you believe in yourself? Do you think that you could do it? Make sure that you understand how to manage your money. You understand how much money you got, how much money you're going to need. You understand the business that you're going into. Is this business going to be worth more 5 years from now? Are more people going to be paying for this 5 years from now? Is this going to be more prosperous 5 years from now? Is this a long-term goal, and am I willing to see it out? And am I never willing to accept defeat? Will I never quit? Am I willing to never quit? Would I sell the shirt off my back to make this succeed? And until the answer is yes, it's not going to work out. It's like it has to be everything. It has to be all things. It has to be the totality of your being. You have to hinge your whole life on it. It's just like, this is everything and I will never stop. And then it will work. So long as you continue to believe that, as long as you continue to work towards that, because as long as you continue to make yourself better and educate yourself how to succeed in that arena. Constantly, now until forever. And you never give up on learning and educating yourself on how to be better at it. Identify whether or not you really truly love it, if you're really truly passionate about it. Don't pursue it because of money. Pursue it because you're passionate about it. Don't worry that you can't figure out how to make money in it yet. Figure out where are people making money, doing what you want to do, and then figure out how to make them money. Figure out how to make somebody else money. Figure out how to create somebody else value for somebody else. How do you create value for them? How do you make money for them? You will make money. Somebody asked me how old I am. I'm 33. I turned 34 in 2 weeks. How do you make money for other people? How do you create value for other people? That's how you will make the most money, by making money for others. Make money for others. Create value for others. Understand that the value proposition that you bring to the table is bringing value to someone else. All right? That's the game. Tiffany says, do you plan for failure? I mean, there's two ways of looking at that. Do I plan for failure? I guess that means, do I expect to fail, is one way of looking at it. Yeah, I expect to fail. We all expect to fail. You should expect to fail because you're going to fail. I mean, no one's just hits every pitch out of the park. So failure needs to be expected. The question is how many failures do you have? Because the people that are the most successful have the most failures. They have the longest list of failures. That's what makes them successful. That their list of failures is longer than your list of failures. So I would say you got to embrace the failure. You got to lean into the failure. Failure is a prerequisite to success. So do you plan for failure? You don't expect to fail, but you know you'll fail. You don't plan to fail, but you plan on when you fail, what will you do? If you fail, what will you do? How will you navigate your way through the failure? What I always say is when you're at a time of really serious and sincere adversity, when you're at the bottom, you should be able to leap off the bottom, because it's when you're the most when your back is up against the wall the most, that's when you really have the greatest advantage to just leap forward ahead. The example that I usually give people is like, let's say that you're in a pool. Success in that pool is swimming at the surface. Sinking down to the very, very bottom is when you're failing. You're low, right? You're at low energy. You're down. You're down on yourself. You're down on your business. You're down on your progress. You're at the very bottom. Think about when you're in the bottom of the pool. When your feet hit the bottom of the pool, if you scrunch down and you're at the very, very bottom, your legs are most poised to blast you out of the water. I always say bounce off the bottom. Don't hit the bottom. Bounce off the bottom. So use this sinking to build up your strength and then burst out, and use your legs and your leg strength to blast you out of the water. Look at what being at the very bottom and what failure teaches you is how to eliminate all the non-pertinent items. Failure teaches you how to eliminate all of the non-pertinent items that have very, very little effect on your success. So it's like when you get at the bottom, you're like, fuck, I got to get rid of all this 20 things that didn't matter. Let me focus on the 3 things that mattered, right? Like when you have no money. When you have no money, you're like, how do I get money like now? How do I get money right now? And that's the thing. It's like that, it cuts the fluff. It cuts all the fluff out. So failure is like where all the greatest opportunities to leap forward and leap ahead actually really lie. And I think that that's a hard lesson and a hard pill to take. So I would just say that like failure is to be expected. Failure is something that you can lean into. So in conclusion, I hope that this provided value to you. I hope that you enjoyed this. I did the best that I could. You know, I was like, I don't know. It's what I'm finding harder once I started turning once I turned the camera on is like, how do you make something that applies to everybody? How do you keep it so generalized? What I've done in the past is like I ask leading questions to someone about what they're passionate about, what do they like to do. Teaching it in kind of like a group setting, like something that applies to everybody, was a little bit more challenging than I thought. But you know what I wasn't afraid to do? Do it. There's 44 people on the live stream on Instagram and 21 on Facebook, right? The numbers are showing me like, oh, this doesn't create as much value. There's usually 150 people on the Instagram live stream. Well, I'm not afraid to try it. And if it created more value for 41 people, it doesn't matter because it creates value, right? I saw people donated on Venmo. Okay, there's a financial reward for making this type of content. It gave value to some. I created value to some. Other people didn't see that value there, but it created value for some. There's 22 on the book. There's 44 over here. That's 66 people. Okay, that's still 66 people, right? So it's like, how do I get it so that it gives value to 100 people? How do I make it so that it's more universal? I took a poll on my story. Maybe I did it at the wrong time of day. Maybe I shouldn't have done it at 6. Maybe I should have done it at 9. Who really knows? I don't know. I'm just doing the best that I can to create value and learn, to try and have a little bit of learning. I'm going to get better at it. The next one will be sharper. The next one will be on point. The next one will be better. That's the game. It's like, I'm not afraid to try it. I'm not afraid to get up and just, I don't know. There could be 3 people on the live. I don't know. I said I was going to do it. I set the time. I'm here. What am I going to do? I'm just going to cancel it because there's 3 people? No. I'm just going to continue to do the best that I can. And I also know that the live stream, once it's saved, maybe it creates value to people that weren't available at this time. Who knows? There's so much value in a single person that it could ripple through. It could be the single piece of content that blows you up and you don't even know. So it's just like, you gotta be willing to try new things, see what happens, watch how it executes, see if people get value from it, see the feedback that you get from it, and then get better at it, just to execute better at it the next time around. And like, that is the lesson. What I'm doing is I'm showing up, I'm putting in the work, and I'm not stopping. I have a relentless pursuit of betterment, of growth, of getting better, of having the right mindset, of showing up and not giving up and not worrying about what's going to happen day to day, moment to moment, but just figuring out how to generally succeed over the long term. I play the long game. That's been my philosophy for a lot of things in life. And it's just like the long game works because it's just like, I'm not stopping. I'm not quitting. I'll never give up. 13 years ago when I built websites, would I have known that I would have 60,000 people follow me on social media and I'd be doing this type of presentation? Nope. I knew that I wanted to get there, but I didn't know how. But I didn't worry about what. I just figured out that I was like, I got to have drive. I got to be motivated. I got to be mentally there. I got to build up skills. I got to build a skill set. Thank you so much, Mark, for the Venmo. I appreciate that. I got to build up a skill set that's going to help me thrive when I get there. Right? I never in a million years would have thought people would just fire me off of Venmo. Mark just sent me a Venmo. That's amazing. It's just like, that's the type of financial reward that comes from making attempts at things, at executing, at providing value for other people. Maybe not everybody. One of my favorite quotes ever is, your business can't be something for everyone, but it can be everything to someone. Your business can't be something for everyone, but it can be everything to someone. So it's like, I don't know who's going to find the most value out of this content. I don't know if people are going to want more of this content, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to do the best that I can. The people said that they wanted it. Here I am providing it. It's not funny. Okay, maybe it detracts from the consistent message of the channel. I don't know. I'm just going to try it. I'm going to see how it goes, right? But again, I'm going to respond to the signals. I'm going to look at the comments. I'm going to look at the views. I'm going to look at the interactions. I'm going to look at the shares. I'm going to see and measure, and I'm going to analyze and move forward. I'm going to audit. It's all I know is that I'm going to be better. If I do one of these again, it's going to be better. If I do a speech ever, it's going to be better. The next one's going to be better. The next one's going to be better. Tomorrow's going to be better. I'm going to continue to hit. I'm going to help more people. It's not about if one person's in the room or 1,000 people are in the room. It's about executing day to day, showing up, never giving up, never relenting, and filling the world with as much value as you can create to it. If somebody's going to ask me how to find their passion, and I'm going to get 350 votes on my Instagram story that say, talk about this. All right, I'm going to talk about it. If there's 3 people in here, all right. If I get a $1 Venmo donation or no Venmo donation at all, I'm going to talk about it. If I sell badges in the chat or I don't, okay, whatever. I'm going to do the best that I can to figure it out as I go along, and I'm just going to keep showing up. And the other thing too is, like, what other people fail to understand is that people see you. People see the work. People see the work ethic. People see the effort. And a lot of times people buy things. The reason that someone buys something is because they know, like, and trust you. Know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust. They know you, they like you, they trust you. How do they know you? Well, if they don't know you, then you're not going to sell shit. So you got to make sure that they know you. Marketing, getting your message out there, creating great content consistently over time, networking, meeting people, interacting with people, making it so that more people know you. Well, they like you. How do they like you? Why do they like you? They like you because they see what you're doing. They see the effort that you put in. They see how hard that you work. They see the things that you say and they agree with them. You say things that resonate with them. They start to like you. They see the things that you produce. They see the things that you output. They like you. Now they know you. Now they like you. Well, how do they trust you? The way that they trust you is they see you consistently hitting over time. They see the things that you consistently show up and do. You say you're going to be on a live stream at 8, you show up at 8. You say you're going to be there on Wednesday, you're there on Wednesday. You say that you are going to work hard, you work hard. You say you're going to produce, you produce. You say you're going to execute at this level, you outpace that. You produce, you go above expectations. You succeed above expectations. You create value where there was none. You consistently show up and produce and produce and produce value, value, value. No one's telling me to make a video every day. I make a video every day. No one's telling me to do a live stream every day. I'm doing live streams every other day. I'm showing up. I'm putting it out there. I'm working my ass off. I'm out here gunning. I'm out here trying to get ahead. I'm trying to better myself, to better yourself, to make things work, and you get rewarded as a result of that. They know, they like, they trust. Know, like, and trust. That's the key. That's why people buy things. That's why people support things. That's why businesses grow, because they know, like, and trust you. That's how entrepreneurs get ahead. When people bought websites from me, they didn't buy websites from me because they thought that I was going to give them the best website in the universe. They're like, I know this guy, I like this guy, I trust this guy. Maybe it'll be more valuable. Maybe I'm going to do it because of that guy. I'll never forget. This is one of the most crucial lessons that I ever learned. When I first got to Florida, I didn't know anybody. I was trying to build websites, and I'm an idiot, so I wore a full suit. And I walked down the main street here in town with my laptop, which I didn't even need. And I walked into every business, and I was like, hey, you know, your website kind of sucks. Like, can I sell you a website? I got rejected, left and right. Everybody, get out of here, whatever. No, oh, the boss isn't here. Oh, you're a chooch, whatever. I don't like your face, etc. And I got rejection after rejection. I got to the end of the street. I'll never forget it. I got to the end of the street. I was out of businesses, and I called my dad, and I was like, "Yo, I just walked into every business, and everybody told me to kick rocks, and I'm never going to sell any websites. I'm never going to sell. No one knows me. No one likes me. No one trusts me. I'm going to fail." I was dripping in sweat. I'm wearing a suit in the hot sun. And he's just like, "Yo, you can't give up. You got to just keep showing up. It's like you're not just gonna get a no. If everybody could just walk into any door and just get a yes straight out of the bat, like you'd be a billionaire. You know, you're not. You have to just keep showing up. You got to keep trying. So on the way back to my car, I walked into a flower shop, and I was like, "This is a cool flower shop." I walked in. I walked up to the desk in the back. And I was like, hey, what's going on? I was like, hey, I just want to know, let you know I love the flower shop. I was walking by. I'm new in town. I just figured I'd come in and introduce myself. I was like, I'm such and such, and I build websites. I've been working really hard my whole life to build the best quality websites. I don't know if you guys have a website or not, but like, if you ever need a website, here's my card. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Like, I love the shop. And I left. I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, whatever. I gave it another shot. 3 days later, I got a call from that flower shop, and I sold them a $2,500 website. It was the first website that I built in town, and then I used that job. Hey, I sold a website to this flower shop to get other jobs. Hey, I'm doing business with these guys in town. Family-run business, been there 30 years. They bought the first flower shop from me, and I had a success. I failed all day, and the last one, when I went in just friendly, just as if, hey, you know, no big deal. I build websites. It wasn't a hard sell. I just went in and was like, hey, whatever. Sold them this website. Got me on my feet. Later that year, I asked the owner of the flower shop, why did you buy the website from me? She's like, you know, a lot of people have been trying to sell us a website. We knew we needed a website, but we didn't want to pull the trigger. We didn't know, you know, when we were going to do one. She's like, you know why we bought the website from you? You reminded me of my son. You're out there trying to get ahead. You're trying to succeed. You're trying to win. You reminded me of my son. $2,500 of value. That kept me going for several months. My rent at the time was $400 a month. I was paying $400 of rent. I was sleeping on an air mattress at the time. And I sold this $2,500 website. It was the first website I sold in Florida. And several years later, I was building 6 figures a year worth of websites. That was the first website sale of the year. It was like April. I had been in Florida for 3 months since January. Hadn't sold a single website. It was the first hit I got, $2,500. Years later, doing over $100,000 in web development in a year. You reminded me of my son. That's fire. I don't know. So, you know what I'm saying? People know, like, and trust you. It's like, they know me. I walked in the door. They like me. I was like, I love your shop. This is a cool-ass shop. They trust me. I'm not going to steer you wrong. I'm here gunning. I'm out here sweating my ass off, walking down the street. You know, I don't have to be here. They trusted me that I would do it right? No, like, and trust. No, like, and trust. No, like, and trust. I don't know. You know? Like, what does that mean? So, as you go to pursue your passion, figure out where you have a strength, figure out where you have an advantage, and then go ask people how you can create value for them. How can I make you money? This is the simplest and most easy way to do it. Let's say that you want to make movies. Again, let's look 10 degrees to the right, 10 degrees to the left. Where do I have an advantage? How do I take a skill that I have, get better at it while someone pays me to do something that creates value for them? I want to make movies. Okay. Someone's talking about the badges. I tried to turn the badges on, but I guess I failed to turn on the badges, which is stupid, but shucks. I really tried to. I think I must have hit the wrong button. I guess the badges are not on there. Oh well, I guess I missed that opportunity. That sucks. Whatever, doesn't matter. So you want to be a video editor. So you want to make movies. Okay. How do I get better at making movies? I get better at shooting video, get better at editing video. In order to do that, I need to make more of it. I need to do more of it. Go on Facebook, type in who needs video editing? Who needs money? Who needs video services? Who needs somebody to shoot them a video? You know? You figure out how to do more of it that's going to make you better at that task, and you figure out how to monetize that product or service right now for other people, how to make other people money, and then you get better over time, and then you get better at making movies. That's a total bummer that this badges didn't turn on. I don't know why. I don't know how that happened. I tried to turn them on, but I guess I failed at that. That sucks. So, anyways, with that being said, see a couple comments on Facebook. I enjoyed the 4 a.m. epiphany on the lake. Yep, that was a good one. Randy, about his brother. That's awesome, man. Nice to hear that. The world is trash. Doesn't need any badgers. Okay. Poetry. All right, so I have a really important call that I have to jump on in about 30 minutes, so I'm gonna start getting ready for that call. I'm considering doing I'm considering doing another live stream about stocks later. People have been asking me about stocks, so I'm gonna try to do a little stock live stream later. So I'm gonna post my video for the day, which I already did today, and I'm gonna post it now. Give it a watch. It's pretty good. I think that you'll enjoy it. It's pretty funny. Today's video is pretty good. If you like it, please comment, share, like it, post it to your story, send it around. I appreciate that very, very much. If you like this live stream, please let me know. Please comment on the video. I'm going to post it on the gram after and on Facebook after. So let people know that you like it. Please share it, post it around. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube. Please follow me on all those websites. If you got some value today, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing. If you wouldn't mind, if you got some value today, please feel free to go to bobbysauce.com, buy some merch in the store, help support the cause. There's a donate page in the navigation if you want to make a donation. If you want to buy a custom video message, you can do so at bobbysauce.com. If you want to send me a Venmo or just make a pure donation to help support the cause, I would very much appreciate it. My Venmo is listed here on Instagram, Venmo at takenaps, or Cashapp at or $takenaps. If you would be interested in that, I appreciate it very much. Thanks in advance. I want to thank everybody that has been here. Thanks for coming along. I appreciate it. I don't know where the badges went. I totally screwed that up. Total mistake. I want to just give a quick shout out to the people that sent Venmos and thank them before I jump off. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for liking and commenting. I appreciate the love. I don't know where the badges are. I totally screwed that up. But whatever, doesn't matter. I created the value, so whatever. I made a mistake. I'll fix it next time. If you guys are interested in trading stocks, I'm going to do a little bit of basic stock rundown a little bit later tonight. That's kind of my other thing. So I want to thank Meg Hayward, Josh K, Laura Donahue, and Mark Cueto. Sorry if I pronounced your names wrong, for sending in donations on Venmo. Thank you so much for that. I very, very much appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you got some value from this. I'm about to post my video right now for today, so enjoy a little of humor and a little bit of a garbage and trash. And thanks so much for being here. Peace out, Facebook. We'll see you guys later.